We got a fun show for you today, lot to get to. Hey, is LeBron a lock to win the title this year? A lock, Nick. We're asking if he's a lock. Is Zeke right to feel a little disrespected after some of the things that have been written about him? And could the New England Patriots actually be better with Cam than they were with a guy by the name of Tom Brady? All that and so much more, but we got to start this morning in Dallas with the latest news surrounding Dak Prescott. We know that Dak and the Cowboys could not agree on a long-term deal yesterday. What we didn't know until now was how that landed with the quarterback, and apparently it landed just fine. Dak saying yesterday, quote, "I'm a Cowboy. I couldn't be happier," and that he's looking forward to Dallas's goal of a Super Bowl. A Super Bowl, Nick. They haven't been to an NFC title game since Troy was their quarterback. What do you think, Nick, has to happen for Dak to lead the Cowboys to a Super Bowl this season?
Jenna, before I answer that question, let me just say this. I'm as excited for today's show as I've been for any show in months. The reason is threefold. One is, one Friday from now, we'll be back watching live sports thanks to Major League Baseball, and the Friday after that, we'll be talking about the NBA. So I'm super excited for that. Also, my dear friend Mike Vick is back with us for the first time in forever. So I'm excited for that. And so thank you, Michael, for joining us. And we are talking about Dak Prescott, and it is not about his contract. We are, for the next few months, we can actually talk about the football player and not guaranteed contracts and franchise tags and Kirk Cousins corollaries. So let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys on the football field. This should be the best team since 2016. 2016, Dak's rookie year, they thought they had built a Super Bowl caliber team for Tony Romo. Turns out they had built a Super Bowl caliber team for Dak Prescott. They were 13-3, and they were the #1 seed in the NFC. And I bring that up for this reason. In order for Dak Prescott to lead the Cowboys to the Super Bowl, I believe they're going to have to be the #1 seed once again. Now, as I always keep right beside me, my trusty projected standings, I have the Cowboys at 11-5.
That was laminated.
The #1 seed is 12-4. So that means that it's in play for them. It's possible for them. But how do they get there? How do they get the 1 seed, which is the only place you can get a bye? Dak and the Cowboys offense as a whole going to have to be a hell of a lot better against good teams. Can we throw up Dak's career for a moment here? And Michael, I want to see what you think of this. Dak against the Giants in Washington, I mean, that's damn near Patrick Mahomes level stuff. Against the rest of the NFL, that's good. It's not bad. You're above 500, 94 passer rating. Problem for Dallas last year, they couldn't beat any good teams. So with the team they brought back into the fold, the drafting of CeeDee Lamb, the upgrade at the head coach spot, to me, Michael, if the Cowboys are going to get back to the Super Bowl for the first time in a quarter century, it has to start with not just making the playoffs, but soaring into the playoffs at 12-4, 13-3. And the only way to get there, Mike, is to, unlike last year, beat the best teams on your schedule.
Yeah, well, obviously, they're going to have to get off to a good start, regardless of what. I think, and looking at those stats, Dak plays really well within a division, which is very important. You have to win the division games first, but outside of the division, you have to be able to go out and win games also. I think they have the right pieces in place to make the run. Starting with Coach Mike McCarthy. We know what he did in Green Bay. We know what he did for Aaron Rodgers. I'm very excited to see that and see how Dak grows within his system. I always thought Amari Cooper needed a compliment. I think CeeDee Lamb will add that in terms of his ability to win downfield, big body target, and somebody else for Dak to throw to. And obviously the run game. It wasn't the same as it was a couple years ago, but they definitely have to get back to running the ball strong. But I think the key piece to this is Mike McCarthy and how he used his players and the talent that he's been blessed with. And what a better situation to come into and be able to compete in the NFC East. And that's what Mike McCarthy has in front of him. We're going to watch this situation very closely. And I'm excited about the Dallas Cowboys. I'm happy for Dak. It's finally over. They tried and they tried and they tried to get a deal done. Dak is happy with the 30-some-odd million that he's going to get. He's more than a rich man, and he'll continue to pile on those numbers. You know, as the years go on, he'll continue to make money. He's a rich man right now and a happy man, and that's what's most important.
You know, Mike, I think it's interesting you say he's a rich man as we talk about the success that the Cowboys should have this year. If they get to the Super Bowl and if he wins the Super Bowl, Nick, you're going to be torn here because here's what I think happens. I think he not only becomes the highest paid player in NFL history, he probably becomes the face of the NFL. He's minted for life. If he can bring the Cowboys a Super Bowl victory, he's good and he's the new face of the NFL across the globe. But Nick, I want to know, because I don't have my laminated Nick sheet. What did you have the Cowboys at this year? Because I had this one memorized. I know you had the Giants at a miserable 2-14. So I think the Giants will be much better. I don't know if they're going to compete, but I don't think the Giants are going to be as bad as you predict they are.
No. Giants are. Okay, well that's a bad take. Giants are going to be really bad. I had the Cowboys at 11-5, and 11-5 is typically not good enough for the 1 seed, and I don't think it would be. But I don't have anyone in the NFC better than 12 wins. So if one of those potential losses can be flipped into a win, then you're right there. And I think Michael nailed the most important part of it, which is the coaching upgrade. Like Dak, we have kind of made different excuses for why the Cowboys haven't gotten back to 13-3 since Dak's rookie year, but I wonder how many of them were excuses and how many were explanations. Year 2, there was the Zeke suspension. We say that submarined them. Year 3, they got off to the bad start. We say, well, he had no one to throw to till they traded for Amari. And last year, it was coaching. But what if last year blaming coaching wasn't an excuse, it was accurate? When the Dallas Cowboys went up against established, high-level coaches, in every instance last year, except for against Sean McVay, they lost. They split with Peterson, they lost to Sean Payton, lost to Mike Zimmer, lost to Sean McDermott, lost to Bill Belichick. And so, Mike, what do you think Mike McCarthy can add that can have mostly the same pieces plus CeeDee Lamb be a drastically different team than it was last year under Jason Garrett? Was it that the message grew stale? Is it a different offensive scheme? What is the importance of Mike McCarthy in your eyes?
It's a different offensive scheme, like you said, and when you think about what Aaron Rodgers was able to do over his long tenure with Mike McCarthy, they attack downfield. And a guy like CeeDee Lamb reminds you of a Greg Jennings of some sort. When the ball touches his hands, 6 yards after catch makes the difference. And it makes all the difference in the world when you're trying to move the ball downfield rapidly. So he'll use everybody effectively. The run game, I think, will be tremendous. It's something that Mike McCarthy was not really known for, but he has a running back in Zeke now, and he has to use him. And he knows that makes the game easier for Dak and the rest of the team on offense. Now, defense will have to do their part, and they'll have to pull their weight too. But I think starting with the offensive side of the ball, it's points to be had for this team.
Mike, let me ask you this. At the end of the day, whatever the defense can or cannot do, doesn't this all come down to what Dak Prescott can do? Isn't this team going to go as far as he himself takes them? The players play the game. The coaches can only do so much. That's what we hear all the time. Dak Prescott has to play as well as he did last year, if not better, for everything around him to come together. Am I right?
The coaches make the players. But ultimately, when that play call comes in, through their helmet, to the quarterback, it's up to him to execute it. That was one thing I took pride in, knowing that my coach can trust me. Any play call that came in, sometimes we might have a disagreement, or sometimes I might look over and I might nod. No, that's not the call. Change the call. I think they'll be spot on in this situation. Dak has everything that he needs now to be happy and move forward as the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And I couldn't be more ecstatic to watch this run, because I think it's going to be something epic. I think they have a great chance to do some really good things, man. We just can't underestimate them. But, this is what we've been waiting for. No excuses.
You nailed it, Michael. If nothing else, Cowboys can at least put the Dak contract talks behind them, focus on this.